Welcome to the Smart Weight Loss Coaching Podcast. I'm Dr. Lisa Olson, a board-certified weight loss medicine specialist and certified life coach. In this podcast, I'll share fresh insights and effective techniques for incorporating mindset, habit change, and proven science into your life. Are you ready to achieve sustainable weight loss, wellness, and longevity? Then let's jump in and lose weight the smart way. Welcome back. May I just take a moment and share the wildest thing that happened today? Some of you have heard me mention my mom, who at 77 years old still works out daily. She's a biker and an avid runner, as well as a loyal attendee of a wonderful early morning boot camp group. This morning, she was on vacation in Tennessee, and while everyone else was having their coffee, she decided to go out for her daily run, alone. It was early, so it was still a little dark, and it was a bit rainy too. She ran around a corner and came face to face with a black bear. I mean, not right in his face, but they looked at one another and both kind of froze. Can you imagine? I wonder who was more surprised. Anyway, once the bear ambled off a bit, Mom snapped a picture, and then in a classic mom move, she finished up her morning run. As if it's not dangerous enough to be a 77-year-old runner, she has to do it in bear territory. Anyway, before we jump into today's episode, which is about soy, just a quick reminder for anyone interested in attending our Women's Wellness Retreat in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, which is about 90 minutes from Chicago's O'Hare Airport. The deadline to register is October 18th. Head over to smartweightlosscoaching.com and click the link at the top of the page to get to the retreat registration. You will love this day-and-a-half-long retreat with our wonderful speakers and ample time to relax, unwind, and connect with other women who prioritize their health, just like you. Seriously, don't miss it. And although my very own mother will be in attendance, I promise we won't ask you to go running with any black bears. Now, let's talk about soy. Here's how this topic came up this week. One of my clients, let's call her Mary, asked me how she can get more plant-based protein in her diet. I recommended she try tofu and also edamame. Edamame beans are soybeans. They're actually green pods with little delicious green beans inside. You typically buy them frozen and microwave them for a few minutes in salty water. Then strain the water and eat the beans by popping the little beans into your mouth and then discarding the pods. It's tasty and super healthy, beloved by kids and adults alike. My client Mary immediately raised a concern about the risk of breast cancer in women who eat soy. She was worried because of her own personal as well as her family history of breast cancer. She specifically avoided feeding her daughter soy when they were growing up because of this common concern. Overall, the average risk of a woman in the United States developing breast cancer is about 13% over the course of her lifetime. This means there's a 1 in 8 chance that she will develop breast cancer. So obviously, anything we can do to lower that risk is welcome. I shared some of the research on soy and breast cancer with Mary, and I'll share it with you too, so you can decide if soy has a place in your nutritional protocol. The Shanghai Women's Health Study followed more than 73,000 Chinese women for more than 7 years. It's the largest study of soy and breast cancer risk in a population that eats high amounts of soy at baseline. The results found that women who ate the most soy had a 59% lower risk of premenopausal breast cancer compared to women who ate the lowest amounts of soy. The benefit was especially pronounced in women who ate large amounts of soy when they were teenagers. There's something about early soy exposure that may be protective against breast cancer. But other studies found that women can benefit from soy later in life too, and soy can protect against postmenopausal as well as premenopausal breast cancer. You might be wondering, why were people worried about soy in the first place? Well, soy is what we call a phytoestrogen, meaning it's a plant molecule that looks a lot like the estrogen we have in our bodies. Estrogen can stimulate the growth of breast cancer cells. Soy contains isoflavones, which are molecules similar to 17-beta estradiol, which is a human estrogen hormone. These isoflavones in soy were thought to imitate the action of estrogen on the breast by binding to estrogen receptors. This is why people were concerned about soy consumption and breast cancer. It turns out, however, that when the body senses isoflavones binding to the estrogen receptor, it leads to reduced estrogen production. Think of it like this. The isoflavones in soy fit like a key into the estrogen receptor that looks like a lock. Once the key is inserted into the lock, the body figures, we don't need any more keys, thanks. Our locks are full. Stop making keys. It's the same concept. The isoflavones in soy sit in the estrogen receptors, only they don't cause any problems like extra estrogen would. Instead, they signal the body to release less estrogen. This is one mechanism by which eating soy reduces the risk of breast cancer. Additionally, the isoflavones in soy lead to decreased inflammation and reduced growth of breast cancer cells. Research published by Johns Hopkins showed a reduced risk of breast cancer recurrence, as well as a reduced risk of death among women who consume high amounts of soy. I'll say that again because it's incredibly important. For women with breast cancer, more soy means a lower risk of recurrence or death from breast cancer. This is powerful information. If we drill down further into the data, soy isoflavones were associated with a 26% reduced risk of breast cancer recurrence, according to a meta-analysis that included 6 studies of almost 12,000 women. In this particular meta-analysis, the results were most notable among postmenopausal women with breast cancer. The greatest risk reduction was seen at 2 to 3 servings per day, where 1 serving equates to a cup of soy milk, 3 ounces of tofu, or a half cup of cooked soybeans, or edamame. This is big news. Let's sum it up by saying that having a moderate to high intake of soy has anywhere from a neutral to a protective effect when it comes to breast cancer. And for you men who are concerned about prostate cancer, soy lowers the risk of that too. What else do we need to know about soy aside from its protective effect against breast and prostate cancers? You know I won't leave you hanging if you're here to work on your weight or if you're trying to increase your health span and live longer, healthier. That's the main goal of my program, so of course, everything we talk about here eventually circles back around to weight or living healthier longer. Soy is nutrient dense, meaning it's packed with nutritional value. It contains protein, fiber, B vitamins, folate, iron, calcium, potassium, and magnesium. Where soy really shines is with its protein, which is what we call a complete protein or a high-quality protein. Calling it a complete protein means that it has all 9 essential amino acids that the body can't make by itself and must be obtained from food. All 9. That's absolutely fantastic and should make you start planning to include tofu or edamame as part of your nutritional protocol. I should probably take a quick detour to mention that amino acids are the building blocks of protein. And as you know, we need protein for many things, but especially to build, repair, and maintain muscle. If we want to live healthier longer, maintaining our muscle mass and reducing frailty starts earlier than you might think. We should all be doing some resistance or strength training at least a couple of days per week. And in order for our muscles to support that, we need to provide nutrient-dense fuel for those muscles. Amino acids link together to make proteins, and proteins are assembled to make muscle. Soy, like that found in tofu or edamame, provides all 9 essential amino acids. Now, hopefully that all makes sense. Thank you, science. Have you ever had miso soup? That's another source of soy. In this case, it's fermented soy, which has incredible health and anti-inflammatory benefits. In fact, fermented soy like miso and tempeh may help improve outcomes in those with Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. The research on soy and brain health is still evolving, but stay tuned because brain health is a hot topic right now. As for the heart, according to Harvard Health, soy and isoflavones are great for the heart. Replacing red meat with plant proteins, including soy, beans, and nuts, was associated with a 14% lower risk of heart disease. This data comes from the Health Professionals Follow-Up Study, a large long-term study of more than 43,000 men. Another large cohort of more than 500,000 Chinese adults found that those who ate soy at least 4 times per week, compared with those who never ate soy, had a 25% lower risk of death from heart attack. For some reason, we're all way more scared of cancer than heart disease. And of course, I want us to prevent both of these health problems. But to keep it in perspective, heart disease is the #1 killer of both men and women in the U.S. So if eating soy can impact that, why wouldn't we pounce on this information? That is what we're talking about when we discuss using food as medicine. Eat soy 4 times per week and lower your risk of death from a heart attack by 25%. I'd say that makes your grocery store a better source of health than your local pharmacy. In women, we've learned that a diet rich in soy can help keep bones strong and reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes. What about weight? I'd really like to tell you that soy knocks it out of the park for weight loss, but the research on weight and soy isn't dramatic one way or the other. It may not be a game-changing food when it comes to the scale, but those who eat the most soy are likely to live longer, healthier, which is really what drives my interest in helping people lose weight. There's one thing to watch out for: soybean oil. This is often an industrialized, cheap oil used alone or in a blend of vegetable oils. It's found in ultra-processed foods and is present in restaurants that do a lot of frying because of its high smoke point and low price point. If you're eating greasy fast food, that likely involves some soybean oil. Omega-6 fatty acids are found in soybean oil, and they can be problematic. We want to have a higher amount of omega-3 fatty acids, which are found in walnuts and salmon, for example, rather than a high amount of the less healthy omega-6 fatty acids found in soybean oil. Why does it matter? High levels of omega-6 fatty acids in our body from soybean oil or other sources will increase inflammation and cause weight gain. Soybeans like tofu or edamame are fine for weight, but industrialized soybean oil is a weight gain oil. Circling back to my client, Mary, I'm so glad she asked about the risk between breast cancer and soy because that concern has been solidly debunked. I encouraged Mary to eat minimally processed soy with impunity, including edamame, tofu, soy milk, miso, and tempeh, while encouraging her to avoid using too much soybean oil. How about you? What's your MBA, your next best action? Before heading to the grocery store, perhaps this research might inspire you to try some edamame as an afternoon snack. Or maybe you'll try some tofu and make Monday nights meatless Mondays. Thanks so much for listening. If you'd like more support during your smart weight loss journey, check out our group coaching program at smartweightlosscoaching.com. Until next time, stay well and stay smart.